biggest thing I wanted to do is obviously get a lot of shots up, get the cardio in, but more so also compete. Because I know once we started competing one-on-one and doing a lot of that, that's when you start really seeing the true character of each player come out and seeing what they're really made of, seeing who's going to separate themselves with a great list of high-profile athletes, you know. So I wanted to test them, see what they made of, so when they go back to school during January, you know, they can maybe even take it to another level.
Hey, Frank, did you hear about Jaan? Jaan got put there, man. Oh, personnel department. Wow, man, that's great, man. He's a great guy. I'm happy for him, too. Right on.
Well, with Jawun, he's always been just a talented, talented kid. I think one of the things I've seen him in terms of now compared to before when he made the McDonald's game is his pick and roll. You know, just his reads off the, whether it's a flat ball screen or a side pick and roll, he's just reading a lot better. And his decision making is even, flat out outstanding compared to what it used to be when he was at Kimball. And then outside of that, I think he's starting to learn now about that those weak side rotations in terms of the big men. He used to do a great job of getting to the rack and getting to the free throw line. So now he's having to, pull up for the mid-range shot, extend his range on the three-point shot. So I think he's done a phenomenal job also on his approach to the game. I see him taking a lot more serious, and with him being the starting point guard as a freshman, in the Big 12, it's been tough. But I think he's dealt with the transition, dealt with the adversity early on. Had a few games where he might have struggled, but he bounced back. Had 17, 7, and 5 his last game against University of Florida, and was the newcomer of the week in the Big 12. So I think the game's starting to slow down for him. I went up to Andrew and I told him you could be one of the best unkept secrets in the country, because he has a lot of similar qualities mentally, in terms of how he approaches the game as well, like Jawun. With him being unranked and kind of had a similar background story with him and Andrew, it was just really about, okay, what are you willing to sacrifice these next 6 months? What do you want, first off? Where do you see yourself in 6 months? Create a blueprint and a plan and execute. And Andrew's one of the hardest workers I've ever been around, you know what I mean? And for him, he deserves everything that he's getting in terms of the accolades, because he's just a great kid. He's engaged, always asking questions. And I think that's what really separates him from everybody else and got him where he is today because of his work ethic. And I think most importantly with Andrew is his love of the game. Like, the kid loves basketball. Alexis Jones, you know, she's obviously, you know, a former McDonald's All-American. Played at Duke, obviously starting now at Baylor University. I think with Alexis, obviously, she has a high IQ as well. One of the great things she does too is obviously shoot the ball at a high level. She actually beat all the boys today, you know, in the 5-minute shooting drill, where you had to make 63s in 5 minutes, and I think she made like 71. You know, so she's a high competitor. You know, and I think also Andrew, her brother, feeds off of that too. You know, all from you know, since they was little. You know, Alexis always being the main top elite, you know, player in the family. So she's just great to be around. Yeah, this was the first time with Trae. He has one of the highest IQs in the country. To me, he's one of the probably top point guards I've seen in a while. But he's definitely, you know, the way he comes off of ball screens and his reads is just, it's at a high level. I mean, it's really NBA level in terms of his read and reaction, and just his phenomenal shooting technique. Great muscle memory on his mechanics in terms of his shooting form. He'll make like at least 5 to 1, you know, 5 shots made to 1 miss. And I think he's definitely a 180 guy, you know, 50, 40, 90 in terms of his shooting percentages. So he's just a phenomenal kid, and his demeanor also. He loves to compete. He hates to lose, and he doesn't really care. I mean, he wants to win, but he hates to lose, and there's a big difference in that. You know, Elijah's always been really versatile. He's always had great feet and great hands, you know, and with that kind of foundation, Elijah's just, you know, he's just a really gifted kid, and especially with his shoulders, he's able to, you know, keep guys sealed on his duck ins or his, you know, pick and rolls and stuff like that. And he has a really high IQ. I expect him to do, you know, big things moving forward. So just like I said, all the kids that was in the gym today, one thing they got in common is they know when it's time to work. You know, they got that, I call it a switch, like a light switch. You turn it on when you need to, you can turn it off, ease back, have a good time, you know.